Hello, and welcome to. Wait a minute. Wait, this is not a Notes 9. This one doesn't count, but I can't do anything without slides. So this is actually a commercial for the MWLug Conference. You don't want to miss it. So MWLug is a great conference for the community. It's going to be in Atlanta next month, from August 19th to the 21st, 2015, and it's done for the community, from the community. So, for instance, IBM is a sponsor, but they're not really in charge of it. The community is, and MWLug has been running for many years now. It's really led by a great guy named Richard Moy, and there's a team of volunteers behind him that help put on this show, and they're going to be in Atlanta in the hottest month you could possibly have in Atlanta, but it's still probably going to be a good time. So I wanted to just talk about this just really briefly and then get into the sessions. But I am a customer. I am not a business partner. I am not an employee of IBM or so. And I am excited about this conference, and I will be attending. Just as an attendee, I'm not going to be speaking this year because, quite honestly, with the competition for the conference, I probably wouldn't have even gotten in. But it's very cheap. I believe it's like a $50 fee / donation that goes to a community charity or so. I forget how that works or so. So it's the best value for your dollar, because you're just paying for travel and room and board, so there isn't any big expensive fee to get there. And the content is second to none, and the speakers can't be beat. They are world-class speakers that have spoken at the Lotus Spheres and the Connects and the conferences around the world or so. And it's just going to be a great event if you want to learn and you want to better yourself and you want to bring information back to your company to help out your company. The dev track in particular is outstanding, and that is why I am going to go. There's other tracks there. There's an administration track and some innovation track, and I think a kind of a cloud track or whatever you call it, social. So there's just lots of great content there. So what I want to do is I want to kind of just go through briefly some of the sessions that are going to be at MWLug, and they've even added a couple sessions, I believe, on connections since I made that video, the demo. So just keep your eye out for that. I believe the Technonics guys, Rob Axelrod and Andy Padeshish, is going to be there, and I believe there's another session as well too that have been added, maybe more. So the content is great. Let's talk about the MWLug conference and the content. Okay, so why would you want to go to MWLug? Well, let's look at their website. The show is from August 19th to the 21st. It's a community-run show. It's community-controlled. They have an outreach program, so they're pretty big on helping other groups that are in need, like charity-based groups. But your real kind of carrot to go is the session. So let's look at the sessions and see what's going on here. Inside the application development section, we're going to have Peter Jansen joining us from IBM, and he's going to talk about the future of application development in Domino. So that's kind of interesting for development point of view. And it's great to see IBM support this effort and sending him. And if you stick around, Pete just loves questions, like if you need a question for him, maybe when is Eclipse going to be updated for Domino Designer? So you could lead off with that one because he just loves that. And if you need other questions, just let me know and I'll send you an email on that. But that's going to be a great session. It's always good to see what's coming next. Carl Henry is going to be in the house, and I've met him a couple times. He's a really great guy. I don't deal with him that much because he's not an X-Pager, but he is such a great Lotus script developer. Over the years, I've really enjoyed whenever he's posted code, and I've learned a lot from that. And he's going to talk about ways to integrate your Domino data with different kind of modern tooling, which is I'm a big fan of that concept. Now, when I do that, I'm going to probably do that with Xpages technologies, but he's going to show you, I believe he's going to show you a way to do that without Xpages technologies. So the more tools, the merrier. Design Matters is a session. I don't know Bob, but I know Keith Strickland from Red Pill Development, another great talented developer. And design does matter. Things have to look good. And there are standards out there, and I believe they're going to kind of go over some of that stuff, which is going to be good to see. Ben, I'm not going to pronounce his last name, but he's going to be in the house. I don't think I've ever technically met him, but he probably knows more about MIME and Domino than IBM does with his products over at GD Software. So I'm expecting a really good session from him on that. Bluemix, well, you can't have any kind of conference these days without at least some kind of token Bluemix thing, because that is the kind of like the hot topic there from IBM. And very recently, XPages has come to Bluemix. I'm not playing with it yet, but it is on my curiosity radar. So Ryan Baxter and Marky Roden are two of the guys at the forefront of Bluemix applications with XPages and even non-XPages. So that's going to be a good session. Eric Kraus is going to be talking about the model view controller pattern. I'm really a big fan of this pattern. I don't think I quite do it the way he does. I kind of do it the Jesse Gallagher way. Like maybe it's the poor man's way, I'm not sure. But you start separating your back end from your front end code and logic and get some of that code off your XPage itself. You're going to be a much happier developer. I promise you that. Speaking of Jesse, he's going to be in the house with, Maven. I don't know what Maven is. I know it's a pain in the butt. I want to build libraries that I can put on the server so my objects can be used in any application. We do that at the day job, and we don't use Maven for that, but it seems like the world is going to Maven for some reason, so hopefully Jesse will tell us why and then tell us how to use it. But that's going to be a good session. Howard Greenberg is in the house, and he's done sessions for years, and he has that monthly webinar by TLCC with his partner Paul DeBella. I got that right. And he's going to be talking about things that I should know that I don't even know, but like the JSF life cycle. So that's going to be good information here. I really have to sit down and just really grasp that one of these days. Sean McManus, he's a good guy. He was on Notes of 9 at least once, maybe twice, I think, talking about the different types of modern web development techniques. And again, I am a big fan of things that get us out of just XPages or just one tool. There's a whole world out there that we should be taking advantage of. And one of those things could be Node.js. Matt White is the original Mr. XPages. He's going to be coming across from London to give this session. And again, you can't go wrong with Matt, in a session on there. So it's going to be geared for the Domino developer, and I'm excited to see that. Kara Birmingham, I'm sorry. I don't know. She's from Team Studio, but preparing your application for the future. Well, that sounds pretty good to me, because there is a lot of growth. There is a lot of new tools that you have to work with. So I'm excited for the potential for seeing that. Another Notes 9 contributor, Steve Zabaki, joins with Dwayne Werfel, if I pronounced that right. And they're going to talk about another topic that I'm really interested in, using a different data source other than NSF with your XPages applications. I believe Steve has done a couple blog posts on this, so I'm going to be excited to see what they come up with from a demo and the solution for that. Because that's actually going to be hitting me at some point, where some of my applications are going to have to go into an SQL database. Eric McCormick is Mr. Beard, but he's also, I believe, kind of like one of the rising stars in our little community right now, and he's going to be talking about speeding up your application with an Nginx and page speed, which kind of sounds a little more like an admin-y topic than a developer topic, so I'll be interested to see what he does with that Nginx stuff, which Jesse Gallagher has talked about that before as solving some problems. Take your XPages development to the next level. Well, I mean, that's a pretty clear title, if anything, and that's by Brad and Paul. And if you know anything about the XPages world, you've seen those names before. Brad is Mr. Blogger with some really great long and in-depth series, and Paul, well, I mean, he shouldn't need any introduction. He is the top of the training and speaking circuit, if there's ever been a top. He just needs to work on barbecue techniques. So Kathy Brown and Julian, another great pair of speakers. They've spoken together several times. I saw this session, this What Can You Do in Java with Minimal Code. I believe they did it at Lotusphere or whatever it was called last year, and I saw it. And it was really good, and I'm sure it's going to be updated a little bit and a little different. But that's going to be a very worthwhile session to attend for any developer. Peter and Nathan from Red Pill is going to be with us for the future of Notes, and that's going to be it's going to be thought-provoking. So that's about all I can tell you about that. Whenever they get on the stage, It's going to be thought-provoking, and probably should be Nathan T. Freeman. He likes that. But again, they're worthwhile to see and get inspired and see what kind of is going on from their point of view of the world. And then Marky Roden has a second session on WebSockets, and that I've played with some demos with him on that, and that's really kind of cool, where you can be on a page and get like live updates about, maybe someone changed it in the back end or something like that, or you can make your own little chat application or so. So I don't know how to do it, but it seems like a great advanced feature that users would like. There's some other tracks. This best practices in social collaboration. Not my personal cup of tea track, because I'm just a poor little developer. Just writing down here, I've met Stephanie. She's a great person, as well as Francie Tanner from Panagenda. Kim Green is kind of like the top of, I remember, like especially the Ace 400 domino world as far as I know. So she's a very high quality individual. Customer business cases. Lisa Duke. This is a great one. Entrepreneurs Roundtable. What they never tell you about owning a business. I got one for you, Lisa, that you might not even know. Make sure if you work with your husband, you have the ability to fire him. Okay, so that's what they don't tell you about owning the business. So you're allowed to use that in your session if you wish. Ed Brill is going to be in the house, the longtime Domino product manager who's now talking about verse and cloudy kind of stuff. So that's good. Innovation track. World without applications. So I'm not quite sure about that because I need a job. But again, Peter and Nathan are going to be on hand for that, and that's going to be thought-provoking. Graphs. That this is going. You have to see this one to believe it. I'm not even going to try to explain it. I've never seen it myself, but I've seen Nathan talk about this for a while. And if there's one kind of like future, mind-blowing, transparent aluminum formula from the future session here, it's probably going to be this one. Again, you can't explain this one. You just have to see this. DB2 NSF. Again, I'm big into tying into other data sources, so this is another great session. My friend Tim Clark's going to be on hand talking about X Foundations, which was I believe it used to be X Controls. Now it's X Foundations. So I like the CSS piece of that, where they do these boot cards things with the cards. I believe that's part of this, etc. So this is kind of like a neat thing to see. The cloud, it's all about the cloud, I guess. Not always the best fan of the cloud, but John Head will be talking about that. Gary Walsh and Francie and Julian are talking about travel hacks. Again, I don't know what all these are, because again, this really isn't my big track. And then same time's okay. And then to system administration. Again, I'm a developer, but here's a big one about Domino security. There's been a lot about Domino security issues the last 12 to 18 months or so. So you want to probably check this out, even if you are a developer, and get up to speed on this. And, well, Rob Novak's coming back with his free beer session, looks like, where you actually get beer. So enough said about there. You might want to see what's going on there. Coming down the list, Keith Brooks is a quality guy. I've talked to him before. Ben, I don't know him personally. The White Trio is a great tool set that can be used to do a lot of different things. Victor, Tony, Ben again, and Gabriella, again, she's probably one of the top administrators in the world for this stuff. Kim Green and Luis is back. Bill Machelski, he's forgotten more about Linux and Domino on Linux than I'm ever going to know. And Susan Bullock is the longtime IBMer, notes goddess extraordinaire, and track manager of the best practices track, etc. So, my gosh, to me, this is better than Connect, because it's cheaper and the same quality people are still going to be there presenting really good sessions. So I can't recommend this conference enough. It's done by the community, for the community. So please think about attending. I am not speaking this year, but I didn't try to speak, but quite honestly, as I looked through those names, I probably wouldn't have even gotten chosen to speak because the competition's so tough. There's a ton of great sponsors there that I recommend you check out. and check out at the show. And that is MWLug, and I will be there. So if you see me, please say hi, and I'd love to talk to you. And that is what I wanted to talk about today. And that's the conference. So please, I hope you attend. If you do, I'll be there. And please say hi. I'd love to meet you. If you have any questions for me, here's my information, and I thank you for your time.